Hello, welcome back to our channel, and this is Web3 Protocol Africa. Yeah, on here we take a concept around the blockchain protocol and we try as much as possible to explain and to break down this concept for ease of understanding, so that if you are new to the blockchain space, you should be able to have an understanding of what some certain concepts are in the blockchain protocol. Welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about nodes. Right? I remember in my last session I talked about nodes. I talked about what exactly nodes are, right? So I did that. So today we're actually going to be running a node. So I mentioned that I'm going to be running the execution client, which is Geth, and also the consensus client, which is Prysm. They are both written in Go. So in subsequent sessions, we'll be running other clients here. So with that being said, my name remains Emmanuel Fediora, and I'm a blockchain enthusiast and also a protocol engineer in the space. So I'm going to drop my my handles, my X handle. I'm going to put that in the description, so do well to follow me. And also I'm going to put the description of I'm going to put the handle of Web3 Protocol Africa in the description. Do well to give us a follow. And I'm also going to drop the links to the resources I'm going to be opening on this session. I'm going to drop them in the description. So do well to check them out. So just a quick recap of what we did last week. So I talked about what nodes are. So I talked about that how nodes are basically computers. In simplest form, nodes are computers, right? But what makes a node is the fact that it runs some kind of software on them, or on it rather. It runs some kind of software. So it runs an instance of an Ethereum client on it. So that's the Ethereum software I'm talking about. So when we talk about a client is basically a software that you run on your computer for it to be a node. So in Ethereum's case, I don't know about other blockchains, but it's similar. It shares the same concept, right? So in Ethereum's case, when you run both the execution client and the consensus client together on the same computer, you have a node. That is what a node is. So that is basically what a node is, right? So in earlier days of Ethereum, what you need, you only need the execution client to have a full node for you to run a node. But as of 2022, after the merge, that was when consensus layer came about. So for you to have a node, you have to run the execution layer, or the execution client rather, and the consensus client. So these two combined gives you an Ethereum node, right? So that being said, why exactly do you have to run a node, right? So why exactly do you have to run a node? So for you to run, you run a node for just to make the Ethereum network to make it more secure, right? This Ethereum is a decentralized network, so we run these nodes, or rather you are a participant in the network when you run a node. So by participating in the network, you make the network to be secure, or to be more decentralized, right? So you make the network more decentralized. So, and there are also benefits for running nodes. You can be a validator running a node. So there's actually a validator software that you have to run for you to be a validator, right? And earn rewards while attesting blocks, while proposing blocks, and all of that. So you can actually earn rewards by running a node. So with that being said, let's jump right into what we have today. So I'm just going to open up the Geth Ethereum source. Yeah, so this is it. Then I open up Prysm. Prysm is our consensus client. Prysm is our consensus client, so I open that up. So yeah, so let me just on here, let me just quickly, I'll log into my other computer because on this computer I don't have Geth and I don't have Prysm installed, so I'll just do that remotely on my other computer. So let me just quickly log in. SSH. I'm in. So I'll open another terminal for, because we're going to be running two clients. We're going to be running the execution client and also the consensus client. So I'll quickly, so I'm in my computer. So I'll quickly do that here also. SSH. Yeah. Yeah. So open it up. So this is the Go Ethereum web page. Here you can actually download the Go client. So here it says for you, so you just basically you choose your operating system here. For me it is Linux, so I'll click Linux. So here you download the zipped file, so you untie it, but I'm not going to be downloading because I already have it on my system, right? So there's the documentation. You can choose not to go through that route. You can come through this route. You just come to installing Geth. Just come to installing, or getting started rather, installing Geth. Yeah, so the route I did for how sorry, excuse me. So how I did mine for my remote computer, I went through this route. So I used Ubuntu PPAs. So PPA stands for Personal Package Archives on Ubuntu. So I installed the Go Ethereum package through Ubuntu PPA. So you can do the same, but if you don't want to, it's fine. Like, there are other ways we can go about that. So let's head on to the consensus client. So this is Prysm. Let's check this out. Okay. Prysm consensus client. Right. So let's quickly open this up. Okay, read the docs. So Prysm was built by Off-Chain Labs. So yes. So let's just quickly, it says here quick start running node. So we're going to run our clients from here. We're just going to follow the steps that are outlined in this web page. So I'm going to pick my operating system, Linux, the network. So we're not going to be using mainnet. No, we use mainnet. So we're going to be running on Holisky network, or rather Holisky testnet. So Holisky, the execution client. So we're going to be running Geth, and going to be using HTTP and JWT. So if you read through this, just follow the steps. So here it says install Prysm. So if you don't want to go through the route of installing Geth, you can just, on your system, you just come like I did here. I created an Ethereum folder here. That's what I did. I created an Ethereum folder here. So I'll just go into it on my network. network is slowing me down. So I'll just go into the Ethereum folder. Yes. So I have my, like they said here, they said create a folder called Ethereum SSD and then two subfolders within it. So you have the consensus and the execution. So I've done that already. You can just follow the steps. So inside of the consensus, they say navigate to the consensus. So go to the consensus part. Consensus. Sorry. Yeah, so I've already done that. So you run this command. This command is going to install the Prysm bash file. So with this bash file, you could, like, when you run it, it's a script. If you run it, it automatically spins up the Prysm client. So here you generate your JWT using OpenSSL. Save it in this JWT file. Yeah, so after that, then you run this command to generate your secret key. Yeah, so I think I've already done all of that, so there's no point doing it again. So this is what will happen. Okay, I don't know, my network is really slowing me down, so well, it's fine. Yeah, so this is for execution. So in my consensus, I already have what the, in my folder rather, I already have what they asked us to install. So I'll just come here and run my get client. So here I'll go into execution. Yeah, so going there. So when I'm in there, I'll run this command. As you can see here, Geth, this command Geth is installed locally within this execution folder, right? But because of the way I installed mine, I have mine globally. So it's a global command on my machine, right? So I'll just run it. Instead of doing this path, instead of doing this dot slash, I'll just do Geth. So I'll do Geth. Or rather, let me copy it. Yeah, copy it. So I'll just paste it over here. Yeah, then I'll paste the path to my JWT, which is my home directory. Paste it. So I'll just put the path for my JWT file, which is my home directory / Ethereum okay. So I'll run this. Um, So like I said, because I have Geth installed globally, there will be no need for that. There will be no need for the forward slash and the dot. That's for executing a command that's installed in that directory. So let me go into here. So let me put in the path. Yeah, so I think this is set. Let me just, then I'll come back here. Before I run the command, let me quickly copy the one for Prysm. I'll do that. Yeah, so I'll seed into Ethereum. Go into Ethereum, and then I'll go into consensus. Before that, let me quickly check this out. Okay, then I'll go into consensus. Okay, so let me run this command. Yep, so here as you can see it says starting Geth on Holisky testnet, right? So the maximum peer count is 50, total peer count 50, and all of that. So here it says Holisky, this is Holisky chain ID. It says consensus beacon proof of stake merged from Ethers. Okay, so here it says it started the server on our local host port 8551. Right, it's also the same here. So now it's looking for peers, right? Meaning it wants to sync with the consensus layer. So we'll just run our command here. Yeah, so yeah, so when you run this command, you just come here and come and put in your JWT key. Make sure you change this so you don't run into errors. Slash, just change it to the path. Now the JWT key you created, make sure you put in, specify the path there. So I'll do mine, Ethereum slash jwt.hex, right? Yep, so I'll run this command also. Oh, sorry, I'm not in the, I have to go into consensus because that is where the executable Prysm file is located. So when I run this, let's see what it gives us. Okay, yeah. So yes, so the consensus client is up and running. So it says running on Holisky Beacon Chain testnet. In order to receive transaction fees from proposing blocks, you must provide suggested fee recipient and all of that. So let's go back to execution client. So this is still looking for peer. The peer count is 2. So funny enough, I ran this during the day, but it kept on syncing. It kept on syncing for hours. So along the line, I ran out of storage. I think it was downloading the state from, it was downloading the previous state of the blockchain. So I ran out of storage. I had to shut it down. So this is just, I'm just running it to show you guys how it works, how we actually run a node in the Ethereum ecosystem. So this is it. So here now it's trying to sync with the consensus layer. So when it's done, it should give us a signal. Yeah. So with that said, I think this video is already taking much time. So yeah, basically I don't think we're going to interact with the get client, or rather I don't think we're going to interact with the node in this session. So hopefully in our next session we get to interact with the node and also run other clients to see how these things work. So I think in Ethereum, why we actually have multiple clients is because to avoid that single point of failure, because any ecosystem or any chain that runs on one single client, that's a big red flag. It's a big single point of failure. So it's not safe, right? So imagine what happens when there's a bug in that client. That means the network is going to be down. But if there's a bug, for instance, in Ethereum ecosystem, if we have a bug in Get clients, Ret is going to be running, Erigon is going to be running, Besu or Nethermind is going to be running. So that is the purpose of having multiple client softwares. Yeah. So thank you. I hope you were able to get one or two from this session or from this video. Yeah, so my name remains Emmanuel Federa, and this is Web3 Protocol Africa. Yeah, stay blessed.